Hello students. So for moving further, we were going to discuss about the particular kind of relief which were provided under Specific Relief Act 1963. Relief provided under Specific Relief Act 1963. What kind of relief provided under Specific Relief Act? I tried to cover all the reliefs which was provided in whole of the act of Specific Relief Act. We were just seeing one by one. This, you can make this table. This table is quite important to study, to see the overview of Specific Relief Act. Let's start. The first relief under this act is, which was discussed, is the recovery of property. For recovery of property, with the person can file a suit under Specific Relief Act in the court of law. For that recovery of property, for immovable property, section 5 and section 6 talks about the recovery of immovable property, and section 7 and 8 talks about the recovery of movable property. The next relief which is discussed in this is, and it is quite important part of Specific Relief Act, that is specific performance of contract. This is the real intention of this act, specific performance of contract, which is covered under section 9 to 25, under which it is divided into some different parts, that is the contracts which cannot be specifically enforced. There are some contracts which cannot be specifically enforced by the court. It is not possible for the court to order to specifically perform that contract. Let's suppose there are two persons. One person is buying fruits from another person. There is a contract between two persons and one person is buying fruits from another person, and other person have to pay for that fruit. Afterwards, the first party gave the amount for the fruits, but the second party did not give the fruits. After some time, for the breach of contract, the party filed the case under Specific Relief Act for specific performance of contract. But until the case reached to the court, the party reached to the court, the fruit got rotten. That is, for that food got rotten, and rotten food cannot be given to the first party. So it is not possible for the court to order the specific performance. So those kind of cases in which the specific performance cannot be possible, the adequate compensation will be given to the court, will be given to the other party, will be given by the court to the other party, and it is covered under section 14 and 14A of Specific Relief Act. That 14A is added after the 2018 amendment. So next kind of relief in this is specifically for the cases in which the specific enforcement is possible. The court order the specific enforcement of those contract, which is covered under section 15 to 19. And the third is substituted performance. Substituted performance means in the place of specific performance, any other performance can be done by the other party, the wrongdoer party. And those are come under section 20 to 24. We will discuss it in deep afterwards. Next relief which is covered under Specific Relief Act is rectification. Rectification is covered under section 26. Rectification means that there are some contracts which were made between two parties, and one part in that contract, it is not clear that what are the rights and liabilities of the parties. It means that document not showing the real intention. And if any kind of confusion is there regarding the performance of the contract, then it must be rectified by one party. The party rectified by the party in the court of law, and the case for rectification can be filed by one party to clear the intention of the document, which is covered under rectification. Next is rescission. Rescission, which is covered from section 27 to 30. Rescission का मतलब, rescission, the meaning of rescission is that to come to an end. The document means to restore the status quo. With the contract come to an end. The one party can file in the court for in the court for rescission of contract, which means it is demanding from court to rescind the contract. That contract is not correct, and that contract is not according to whatever decided intention of the parties. So one party file the case in the court of law to rescind the contract, to restore the status quo. Next relief which is provided under Specific Relief Act is cancellation. And cancellation can be done completely or partial, and partially cancellation can also be there, and complete cancellation of the contract is also there. It is covered under section 31 to 33, and it is on the discretion of the court to order either complete cancellation of the document or partial cancellation of the document. Next is the declaration. Declaration means that one party go to the court to make the court that the court has to declare whatever right the party already has. Let's suppose I have a right on a particular property, and I went to the court and said to the court that declare that to make, because some other parties are also claiming on that property, claiming the rights on that property, and I went to the court and said, please declare that, and by giving proof, please declare that this property belongs to me. So that is declaration. Declare by court what the person already have. Next, the last right which is given under this act is injunction. Next important right which we have to study, that is section 36 to 42 covered injunction. Injunction means order to prohibit a party from doing certain activity, or order a party to do certain activity. The injunction is of three types: temporary, permanent, mandatory. Temporary injunction basically covered under Civil Procedure Code, Order 39, in which that was interim order for some time, mainly until the final decision of the court does not come. Permanent injunction covered under Specific Relief Act means permanently court stops other person to do certain activity. Next is mandatory injunction, which is covered under section 39, temporary injunction section 37, permanent injunction section 38, and mandatory injunction section 39. Mandatory injunction means when the court make other person to do certain activity, and that is also covered under injunction. So this is a brief discussion of whole of the Specific Relief Act, the important points of Specific Relief Act which we were supposed to cover. In the future videos, I'm going to deal with these points one by one. Thank you.